Alright, what's up everyone? Ate here, and of course, welcome back to the channel. So in this one, I'm actually going to talk about one-shot kills, specifically how to get them fast and efficiently in Call of Duty WW2. Now, of course, for those that haven't figured this out just yet, you actually need to get 100 one-shot kills from all these sniper rifles and all these shotguns to eventually unlock some more camos, work your way towards gold, later on diamond, perhaps one day the chrome camo as well. Not until they pass the Panzerschreck though, because at this point in time, you still can't unlock camos for that one. Bit of a joke. Anyway, on that note, first we're going to start things up with the sniper rifle, just because I personally feel like that getting one-shot kills for those isn't too difficult, or at least not too difficult for the bolt-action rifles. The Carabin is a whole other story, but let's get straight to it, shall we? Now, I personally feel like the best thing to do right here is to start things up the bolt-action rifles, just because I feel like they're way easier to use, far easier to get the one-shot kills done for. And those, of course, the Lee Enfields, the M908s, aka the Springfields, and the Kar 98K. Now, in this case, in order to use them properly, you gotta know a thing or two about the damage profiles. The Lee Enfield is actually the weakest one, and the slowest one, the Kar 98s, is your middleman, and then the M908 packs one hell of a punch. But then on top of that, it's got a ton of sway as well. Now, for those that don't notice yet, the Lee Enfield is actually a one-shot kill upper chest and up. The Kar 98 is a one-shot kill body and up. And then the M908 is actually a one-shot kill knees and up. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I think it's safe to say that most of us aim for center mass by default. So with these weapons, you shouldn't be getting too many hit markers except for the Lee Enfield. That one just kind of tends to get you hit markers from time to time. You'll get through it, learn to aim a bit higher, and you should be a-okay. And then apart from that, in terms of playstyle, slow it down a little bit with the Lee Enfield. With the Kar 98 and the Springfield though, you can get up at people their faces and just pop shot them real quick. I think that the Kar 98 is the easiest weapon to use for most people. The Springfield though, after you get a hold of that sway, should be mighty fun as well. Now, in terms of game modes, I actually played regular team deathmatch to get these challenges done. To be fair, it doesn't matter too much, just make sure you avoid hardcore, obviously. By default, these guns should be a one-shot kill, so obviously going in hardcore isn't going to help you. In fact, it's just going to get you killed more often than you really want to. Now, for those that care about stats, by the way, I said this in my last video as well. If you're really bad at using sniper rifles and genuinely don't want to ruin your kill-death ratio, play War, right? War is by far the most objective-based game mode we've ever seen in a Call of Duty game, and because of that, they've also implemented the fact that your kills and deaths don't count towards your actual kill-death ratio. Now, me personally, I don't tend to care about KD too much these days. I still want it to be above a 2 KD, but back in the day, I wanted to get a 3 KD, a 4 KD, and otherwise, I wouldn't be very happy. Let's put it that way. This game, though, is way too passive for that. Way too many campers, and frankly, I can't sit still like that. Team Deathmatch is a bit faster in terms of getting kills for me, but War is definitely a good second. Now, in terms of the class setup, I don't think you can really go wrong with anything. Personally, I tend to rock the Lookout basic training the most. This right here is essentially Marksman from previous Call of Duty titles, in fact Marksman from Modern Warfare 3. So this of course is going to make it a hell of a lot easier to spot opponents at longer distances. Because for those that don't notice yet, this basic training actually makes sure that people, their names pop up as long as they're actually within your line of sight. Now considering you're rocking a sniper rifle, once they pop up, you should be able to pick them off nice and easily. And then in terms of attachments, I usually rock the ballistic calibration to of course reduce that sway a little bit. Extendamax is a very good one as well, especially on the Kar 98 and the M1908, because they by default only have 5 bullets in a clip in this case. I don't think it's a magazine with these, right? I think that's what you call a clip. And then for the Lee Enfield, it's not too necessary, because by default, this thing actually has 10 bullets in a mag. So in that case, go with rapid fire, go with FMJ. For those that like to play a bit more aggressive, try out Prime as well. Prime essentially reduces your flinch by a little bit, so up close and personal. That can definitely save your ass. And in that case, I would also recommend you to try out rapid fire on all of these weapons, and maybe even FMJ. Both of these attachments should make your gun a bit more consistent, even up close and personal. And then obviously for your secondary, you want to rock the machine pistol, aka the best damn pistol in the game. This one outshines the P08 and the 911 by a long shot. Slap on extended mags on this one as well, and you should be good to go. Now, the Carabin is, of course, a completely different story. Unless you actually manage to get a headshot, you won't be able to secure a one-shot kill in core game modes with this weapon. So because of that, I actually played hardcore team deathmatch to get some one-shot kills for this one. Now, first things first, keep in mind, this gun is going to piss you off beyond belief. Or at least it did that in my case. This thing actually makes, say, the SVU from Black Ops 2 or the Dragunov from Call of Duty 4 seem like very solid options. And spoiler alerts, they're not. Or at least they did used to be. This thing's really difficult to use, got no aim assist, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the standard scope on this weapon. It doesn't seem to work out too well for me. So on this one, I actually rock the 4x optic. Next up, rapid fire, which actually seems to make a pretty big difference, if I say so myself. Essentially turns this gun from a slow-ass sniper rifle into a spam machine. And then apart from that, maybe extended max if you rock, say, the prime basic training. But to be fair, that shouldn't be too necessary. And then in terms of tips, don't try to run around with this weapon, alright? Don't try to run a gun. Don't try to quick scope, because obviously you're gonna have a bad time. Anyway, so next up, we've got ourselves the shotguns. The combat action, the toggle action, the M30 Luftwaffe, and of course the sawed-off shotgun. Now, in this case, I tend to divide these shotguns into two different sections. You've got the combat shotgun and the toggle action. Those are somewhat decent. And then the Luftwaffe and the sawed-off shotgun are really freakishly bad. Even in hardcore, they struggle to secure a one-shot kill. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, personally, I tend to play hardcore team deathmatch to get these one-shots done. The combat action is actually somewhat usable in core team deathmatch as well. But unless you play really passive and really play it safe, it's a bit difficult to get close enough to secure a one-shot kill. So I'd say don't bother with it. Go to hardcore TDM, slap on steady aim, slap on advanced rifling, and you should be good to go. Now, in this case, my setup is exactly the same for every single one of the shotguns. I actually don't rock out the Expeditionary Division. I know that one's kind of reserved for the shotguns, but really the only benefit you get are the incendiary rounds. And at the end of the day, if you get a kill using those rounds, it actually doesn't count as a one-shot kill. So obviously, don't rock that one. In this case, I would suggest going with the Airborne Division, actually. For starters, with this one, you get to sprint for longer distances. You also get to climb over obstacles faster. And then on top of that, you also get increased sprint speed. And at the end of the day, with shotguns, you want to be up in people's faces, get up close and personal, make sure you flank around. And this division is most definitely going to help you out with that. Next up, in terms of the attachments, I actually rock steady aim and advanced rifling on every single one of my shotguns. I know what you're thinking, why not rapid fire? Rapid fire is actually kind of negligible on most of the shotguns. If I'm not mistaken, it bumps up your fire rate by I think 7.5%. Just like back here in Black Ops 3 actually. But considering that these weapons have got a super slow fire rate, obviously bumping it up by say 7.5% isn't going to make a huge difference. In fact, chances are you won't even notice a difference. In terms of the combat shotgun and the toggle action extended mags isn't a bad attachment either, but personally, I don't think it's too necessary. Now, in terms of the basic training, whenever I play hardcore TDM using this division, I actually tend to stick with inconspicuous, which of course dead silence from the previous Call of Duty titles, so quite a movement, and then on top of that, you also get to walk faster whilst crouched, which I personally don't make too much use of. But of course, at one point or another, that's going to come in handy. Two other good ones as well for starters, Hustle, which allows you to reload faster. And of course, also reload while sprinting. That can come in very handy, especially with the M30 Luftwaffe. And of course, the sawed-off shotgun. And then there's another one that I find somewhat decent as well, though I don't use it very often. And that's of course Gunslinger. This will actually allow you to fire weapons while sprinting, but also whilst diving. In this game, diving is actually somewhat handy. Obviously, dolphin diving, say back in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 was absolutely useful. In this game, that can actually allow you to get away from, say, grenades, make sure you don't get shot by a camper that's sitting in the back. So definitely make use of that. And of course, when you do that, and someone pops up, just spray and pray. And with a bit of luck, you'll actually get the kill. And then on top of that, I also tend to rock a stun grenades on every single one of my shotgun setups, for the simple sake of picking up an easy kill every once in a while. Obviously, if you know someone's around the corner, if you know someone's camping inside a building, make sure you stun them first, then walk up to them, line up your shots, and take them out nice and easily. Now, of course, at the end of the day, getting 100 one-shot kills with shotguns doesn't seem too difficult. And obviously, the combat shotgun is somewhat decent, the toggle action is somewhat decent. But once you get to the M30 Luftwaffe and of course the sawed-off shotgun, I would suggest not underestimating how bad these weapons actually are. The M30 Luftwaffe is somewhat decent in hardcore, but even in most situations, you're gonna get outgunned by absolutely everything. The sawed-off shotgun though has practically no range. Compare this to say the Executioner from Black Ops 2, adjust to a similar playstyle and then you should be a-okay. But at the end of the day, your stats are gonna drop a little bit, you're gonna have a bad time, so keep that in mind. Of course, if you enjoyed this one, as always, some support, a like rating would be very much appreciated. If not, that's cool. If you want to, you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Those links, as always, are down below in the description. Twitter is the way to go, by the way, if you want to have a bit of a chat, want to reply, I'm always on Twitter. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, thank you for the continued support, and of course, I will catch you in the next one. Take it easy.